We're live, I believe. Should be. Are we? It's always weird. Oh, there we go. Always takes a minute. Yep, there we are. Hello, and welcome to Movie Crap. How's it going? We're only 10 minutes late. I thought we'd be later. I'm going to send out the skeet. Are we still calling it a skeet or a blue sky? Thank you, Cornbread. Hello, Purple Goop, Cornbread. Bloxy Oxenwinkle, Zodberg. William Ellman, I see, is there. Austin, Nathaniel Foga. Who else is in here? I think I got everyone who's in here. I don't know. Purple Goop, Austin, Cornbread, William Ellman. Yeah. Oh, Jordan Slavlo's there. Hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another K-Master. Surprised me there, K-Master. Did both of them send out? It looks like they did. Okay, and welcome to Movie Crap Live. How you doing tonight? How's it going? Oh, Pup as well? Look at this lineup. Wow. Some cool. What? Oh, Javier Portello is also here. Let me... Okay. Okay. I do... So this will be... Should I switch over? I wonder if you can tell. Maybe I should do guesses. And okay, never mind. Kevin James says Dog Blart Man Cobb Wen. Okay, hold on. Let's switch over. Hello, yes, I'm in the kitchen. I'm hot off the kitchen, as they say. And I'm here, and Bloxy with the first super chat of the night says Kevin James's Dog Blart Man Cop Wen. And I have Zoa. Zoa is back, the rock energy drink. And Cornbread did predict it and predicted the flavor too, so congrats. I actually found a store near me sells them, so maybe we'll feature these more. I don't know. I have another one, a different kind soon. So Jim I think cooking for me wouldn't be fun because you just watch me listen to a record and cook and not say anything. So I don't know if that would be. Maybe that's what the content people want. But anyway, cheers to you, Bloxy. I had one of these the other day, and I gotta say, this might be my favorite. I'm not even joking. I'm not trying to... I might actually like the Rock's Energy. Hello, Chan Talks More Movies. How's it going? Oh, you're seeing the... Oh, it's Tropical Punch. Tropical Punch. Sorry, I didn't say that. I've heard about this Led Zeppelin thing, but I don't know much about it, but I hope you have fun. Okay. Does this shot look okay before we... Yeah, why is it... Okay, on mine... Oh, it does look fine. I don't know what I'm... Whatever. I hope you've all had a good week. It's going to be an interesting show. We'll do, how the show works and all that. The segment will be common side effects. However, I really want this to just be a short. Hello, L. Vasquez. So I'm actually going to put my phone here. I'm going to have a timer on it. And I'm going to do it under 2 minutes. And then, so the segments are going to be quick. I wanted to watch Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man episode 3. But first off, they put out like 3 episodes. And oh, hey Dan, how's it going? I didn't know they were going to put out that many. But I also didn't have the time to watch just the third one. I'm a little confused on how that's all working. I'll eventually watch it. I don't think I'm going to cover it anymore. But I am open to its twist at the end of episode 2. I don't know when and if I'll watch that, but I was like, this is too much for me. I'm just keeping it to common side effects. But yes, we had a good weekend this past weekend. We did a lot of cool stuff. I guess the first big thing is the family saw Monster Trucks, or Monster Jam. It's not called Monster Trucks, it's called Monster Jam. I'm not exactly sure when that switched over, but that was interesting. It's sort of like, I saw like Gravedigger and Sparkle Smash, which is the new big one all my kids like, and all the kids like, and El Toro Loco, who kind of stole the show there. And it's interesting. I've never been to a Monster Trucks thing before, but it's like sort of like a live, it's like a TV show but you're there. And it doesn't like stop like if you've been to a shooting in a TV show. To the extreme games. To the extreme. Oh, I see what you. Fantastic Four. To the extreme. You love that thing. I should do a sequel or something. No, I shouldn't. But I wouldn't. I don't know. I might re-release it on this channel or something like that. It is sort of all me, so why not? Anyway, cheers to you, Austin. Yeah, it was interesting. Second time going to the Barclays Center, and I got like there's this place where I've never been to those Amazon stores. I know they're all in the city, but where you scan your card and then you go in, you grab what you need and leave. That was strange, but no, the monster truck element, it was fun and odd and interesting, and it was an experience. I had fun, but it was a lot to get used to. I wasn't sure where it politically leaned, but I work sort of near Chick-fil-A, and they had a lot of signs for it, so I guess that's where they go. But it was fun. The kids had a good time. It was, it's like a fun thing. You get to vote on your phone, which my daughter Sophie was doing a lot. So that was, it was fun. It was certainly an experience. It's like it's worth it if your kids are into it. But no, Creech wasn't there. None of that kind of monster truck. I try to hide that monster truck. I was like, you can find out about that meme when you're older. It doesn't have as much cachet. You'd be surprised how little the kids talk about the movie monster trucks. But it is fun watching them do like the wheelies and the zombie one. There's a zombie one. That's cool. Yes, you vote like in Megalopolis. I guess it's like they do have a Megalodon in there as well. But yeah, Sparkle Smash was kind of but they made like all this dirt in the arena there. It was crazy. But the other thing was Lucas Till. I think he was. I always make fun of poor Lucas Till. Lucas Till was not there. There was a couple guys who Lucas Till could play in the, in the movie adaptation. Oh, what is he doing now? I actually don't even know. What? Oh yeah, we also did like this kind of family film festival. The listing is on my Instagram, my personal Instagram. And we did a vote, and I was actually surprised that the Old Mill won the vote, which I thought was cool. I didn't expect that. I thought, because Madeline, before the festival, the hype was on the Madeline cartoon, which did come in second, but the Old Mill won, which was kind of nice. It's like, you don't expect, when you let, people vote for like a really, you're always like, they can pick what they want. I didn't expect the Old Mill. I didn't vote for the Old Mill because I voted for a Felix the Cat short, Woo's Whoopee, which I should review at some point. I really like that short. But it was cool. We did like Flowers and Trees, Old Mill. What was the other? Anyway, they're all a bunch of UPA because I have the UPA collection, and I thought it'd be cool to like show some UPA. Because you don't talk about UPA doesn't get enough respect really, but showing some Pixar, some I played Greg and AJ, which I still think is a great short. I'm gonna eventually make that. I think when Elio comes out, I'll finally edit that together. But yeah, it was a good weekend. I don't know if this upcoming weekend will live up to it. And then we watched the Grammys at the end. I'll get into the Grammys a little bit just because I think what happened with the Grammys over will sort of be similar to what happens with the Oscars, but I'll talk about a little Grammy stuff, not too much. MacGyver, he was in The Collective. I don't know what that means. I'm trying to think. Yeah, if anything else, I saw Presence, and that was cool. And I'll do a review of that. I've shot a review. It'll come out soon. Sorry there hasn't been as many videos. It was just like last night I just fell asleep, and I think I was not feeling well, and on Fridays, it's sort of a mess. So, whatever. It's weird that Pixar made movies titled Luca and Elio. Yeah, that's true. Dipper singing Pink Pony Club? What? I'm confused by that one. Did he, like, the actor did that? Anyway. But yeah, there should be more stuff coming out tomorrow. I have some cool stuff lined up. I'm feeling energized. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff. It's going to be so cool. But, oh, hey, Anthony Chud. That's a long name. I'm just going to say Anthony. How's it going? All right. For throwbacks, I had the SpongeBob Sponge Out of Water movie, the sequel, since it's been 10 years since that one. We're having a lot of 2015 nostalgia this year, since I was making videos then. And then, William Ellman, here we go. Did you hear the sad news that the mall is... What? The sad news that the Monroeville Mall from Dawn of the Dead is in Gramo to be demolished for a Walmart. I didn't know that. Really? Shit, that sucks. I never even got to go. Wasn't that the same mall in Mallrats? Did they film the Mallrats sequel in time? That would actually be an interesting Mallrats sequel where their parents meeting up at the new Walmart that took over the mall. Anyway, but that's sad. That sucks. R.I.P. There's actually an R.I.P. I wanted to do, and now I'm gonna... Anyway, cheers to you. I'm gonna look that up. Thank you, William Ellman. I appreciate it. All right, hold on. Let me look up. There's one I wanted to do, and I forgot to do it. I think I just did. Okay. Cool. All right. Yes, I got where was I? SpongeBob, because it's been 10 years since the second SpongeBob movie, as well as to Friday. I'm fairly sure, because the new Kiwi Kwan. You live Bloxy? You live near that mall? Is that true? That's crazy. You should go visit it. Because the new whatever it's called, Kiwi Kwan is in a new movie. He's starring in it. And I thought because he's being all martial arts stuff, most people would say it's throwback to everything everywhere all at once. But I'm actually throwing back to a short, which I've never done before. I actually had to learn how to make a short a community post, which I posted a video on how to do it. You actually have to go through your liked videos playlist only to be able to do it, which is bizarre, but I can confirm I tried any other way and it wouldn't work. But my Con short about like all the other film jobs he did post Goonies, like he did a lot of martial arts stuff. If there was ever, and I'm not joking, anyone who should be in a martial arts movie, it's like this guy, because he did fight choreography for X-Men and a Jet Li movie, and I'm like, okay, come on, like this guy's like too well trained. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up again because it felt relevant, and I was like, let's not, I try to throw up different kinds of content in the throwback. So that's a first there. And if you want to know how to do that, I think I put it in the creator thing on the Discord, because I didn't know. So I learned something by doing that, and that's cool. The throwbacks have helped me learn some certain things in this most recent batch, but you'll hear about those later. All right, before we get into all the other stuff, I have my movie trivia segment. Oh crap, where'd we go? I have some good movie trivia. I'm gonna probably do some random ones, but also do ones of movies I reviewed this past presently, and I have two about Nosferatu 1979, which I found interesting. If you were there for the premiere, then one of these is there, and I think maybe both, but who knows? It's new to you, like they say on NBC. For Nosferatu 1979, the whole crew comprised of 16 people, which I thought was crazy considering the scale of that movie, and Warner Brothers was involved and all this stuff. Only 16 people, full crew. And so if you think like what you're watching behind this camera and in front of the camera might be up to 20 people, which is like definitely the newer Nosferatu had more, which is insane. And it's actually twice as many as when Werner Herzog shot Aguirre, The Wrath of God, which is a huge epic, which was also insane to me that he shot that with so few people. It like made me appreciate him even more. And another one is when Nosferatu was, this is the 1979 one, was released in UK cinemas. It was part of a double bill with Ralph Bakshi's Wizards, which is okay. But whatever. As far as I know, well, it did sell. There's no plans. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's still no plans yet, I guess. Oh, well. I mean, it's still not good, but that happened to a mall near. Cheers to you, Black Sea. The mall in Ocean City I used to love going to doesn't exist. Completely demolished. It's sad when that happens. Anyway, here are two actual other movie trivia things. One, for Jurassic World Rebirth, I guess. I didn't know this, but the Velociraptor sounds in Jurassic Park, they're actually the sound of tortoises mating, which I thought was like pretty crazy that they like messed with and stuff. But the tortoises mating is in the Velociraptor sound is really interesting. And then the final one, and I think this is actually kind of cool, is okay, Zane Powers. This is one that I found was interesting. So Christopher Nolan, when he was making Interstellar, couldn't find a cornfield next to a mountain. So he and his team, probably more of his team, planted 100,000 pieces planted 100,000 pieces of corn that made it convenient so they could like freely shoot. So the whole farm in Interstellar, if you remember, that whole like cornfield was all made for the movie. And they spent like a bunch of money just to do that. But after filming Wrapped, they actually sold all the corn and made a profit. So they built it so they could shoot whenever they wanted. They didn't have to worry about driving through the cornfield, which they do at one point. They needed it near a mountain. I don't remember if that's important. But I thought that was kind of a cool one. So apparently it was a well-known... Well, you know, some of them are going to be well-known. Some of them are just ones I learned and I think are cool. All right. Before I do Patreon, Discord, give me... Oh, man, what is up with this? Give me 1 second. 1 second. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I had something stuck in my teeth and I wanted to get it out. Sorry if that's gross. All right, so this and everything I do is supported by you, the fans. Either through my Patrons, where I'll drink this lovely energy drink brought to you by The Rock, or through my Patreon, which is linked below in the description. The Patreon also has all sorts of cool stuff. Like you get more power of the movie review vote. You get access to my commentary series, where I do commentaries on Cleus, Fetus, Knockforce, and my older videos, as well as my public access show, which is the only way you can actually watch it on demand. You could just watch Brooklyn Public Access and hope maybe they'll play one, which supposedly they do. I don't know. But the only way you can watch it like on demand in your own time is through that as well. It's a great way to help me be able to do what I do, help me do you get postcards as well. I'm going to do another DVD giveaway, stuff like that. Helps me able to get this sound blanket I have here. Helps me able to publicize the show either through flyers or stickers and all sorts of cool stuff like that. Dante, that's cool you learned about. I barely got to read that, but I hope it was interesting. Anyway, if you're financially able to do so, I very much appreciate it. It very much helps me able to do this. Pay for food, keep the lights on for this channel and keep these lights on as well. And thank you if you're financially able to do so. If not, just liking the video and subscribing also helps. But if you're just watching and that is all you can do, you don't even have a YouTube account, thank you very much for doing it. I'd ask you to comment below, but you do need to at least make a YouTube account for that. But thank you very much, anyone who's watching. I really do appreciate it. Also, there is the Discord, which is a wonderful community. If you like all these people that I keep talking to in the corner, and if you watch it too early, there's no chat here because YouTube is weird for some reason. But if you're watching it late enough that you can see the chat, these are really cool people, and it's a great community, and I highly recommend it. We do all sorts of cool stuff, like we did an Alex Ross daily question. Everyone showed what they knew of Alex Ross and stuff like that, and I told a thing at the end. We do all sorts of cool daily questions. They do a movie watch, which I'm not sure what they're doing there. And they do, they're watching the Goonies. They're watching the Goonies. Cool. That's a good choice. Good idea, guys. Movie watches, there's the Ask Jim channel where you can ask me a question. I will answer it. I think I'm up to date, or at least I was at some point today. There, you can give me suggestions. You can talk about movies. You can talk about art. You can, if you want to push your stuff or one of your friends' stuff, there's channels for that. There's everything there. It's a great community, and I highly recommend it. Click in the description down below. Love Hurts. That's what it is. I kept forgetting the name of that one. I think that's... Did I talk about all the things? Sometimes I'm like, did I say that right? And then I watch it back and I'm like, oh, I guess I did. I thought that cornfield thing was interesting. I never heard that. That's crazy. Anyway. Okay. Oh, also I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook, fan page, all the things, Blue Sky, Twitter. I think I said them all. They're all linked in the description down below. I don't think I have anything else. Oh, one of my music video things couldn't be on TikTok because apparently it sounded like a song, which it didn't. So that short is not on TikTok, I guess. Anyway, you should, if you haven't watched this Fire Escape Snow thing, it's on here only. Oh, has Goonies ruined the Goonies? That's actually the same powers. That's a good question. I do think, first off, cheers to you. The hype around Goonies has sort of ruined Goonies, I will say, to a certain degree. I know people who are like, oh god, because of the millennials and stuff. I still think it's fun, but it's been a while since I've watched it. But I do think, like, every time I watch it, I end up liking it. But you do sort of have to... There's a few times I've said no because it gets referenced so much and people freak out. But then I think that happens to a lot of movies. I actually didn't love The Matrix as much after a certain point because people kept talking about it, and there were so many other movies I was so obsessed with, particularly... Oh, you said Goonies, not Goonies. Has Gooning ruined the Goonies? Well, I guess... No, Gooning hasn't. Anyway, I've screwed this up. Alright, so the Fantastic Four, The First Steps trailer came out, what was it, yesterday? It came out. Doesn't matter when it came out, but it came out already. And we got our first look. It looks really cool, actually. I'm sort of into the look of it. I noticed they had the thing Cook because that guy's on the Bear. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. I mean, I know the thing did Cook and stuff, but it just felt like you had to do that in the trailer. It had a good look to it. It looked very Fantastic Four-y. I liked the guy who's playing Johnny Storm looks like he'd be friends with Spider-Man, which I'm already into that. It had a very, and I want to be specific about that. It had a very early 60s vibe, like Kennedy's Not Shot Yet kind of vibe. Like, it reminded me actually of another superhero thing. I reviewed it forever ago. I know it's a comic, but I read the animated one, which was Justice League The New Frontier, which uses a Kennedy speech in the movie, but like that possibility, that hope that Kennedy brought to the presidency. It felt like that, even though it felt more like that than like post Beatles, which I think Fantastic Four didn't exist. What year was it? Like, it wasn't like, if it was post Kennedy, most of it, maybe it was pre or something, but it was like, anyway, I kind of like that look. It specifically looked like that kind of look. It looked cool. It sort of sticks that the guy who came up with let's do a 60s Fantastic Four movie doesn't actually get to direct the Fantastic Four 60s thing, but whatever. I like the overall. I'm excited for it. I don't think it was the slam dunk that the Superman trailer was, and I'm still, like, I thought at the end of the trailer it was like, and we're coming out in November, because let's stay away from July, because July's like Jurassic World reboot, Rebirth, Superman, and then Fantastic Four. Like, what theaters are going to be left, guys? I was like, whatever. I like the quick shot of Galactus. I'm not in love with the Galactus Silver Surfer storyline being in the first movie. I think that's a dumb idea. Like, I love that storyline. I love those comics, but in my mind, like, that's something, they're great comics. They're absolutely, like, you're making an all-time list. Those are the two you're picking. But, I mean, I like Fantastic Four when you get into the cosmic stuff and you get weirder. It can be a lot of fun. And I guess, like, that's what they're going for. But we'll see what the deal's with this. I did like the trailer, the look of it. It didn't blow me away. I was more like, okay, you've got me, person who likes Fantastic Four. I don't know if you made a trailer like that got the people who were not into that as much. Oh, need the Thing and the Punisher interacting soon? Well, that's an interesting. Why those two? That's it. I would think the Hulk, but that's an interesting combo, Nathaniel Fucking. Cheers to you. Thank you for that. Oh, I just got it because of the bear too. It was a bear connection. All right, I got it. I think that's what you're doing there. I'm not sure. Okay. The Watcher would appear. Yes, Javier Portillo. That would be happening because he is involved in that storyline in the original comics, at least. But yeah, I generally liked it. I like the kind of the time period they are playing with, which is the New Frontier early 60s thing. I think was a good. That's a good period. Although I kind of I like the original idea of who was it? The guy who's doing Ant-Man. His idea of making it a Hard Day's Night thing, I think, might have worked a little better, but we'll see what it's like when we actually see the movie. I don't think. The one thing, the suits weren't 60s. The suits were the 90s suits, not the 60s suits. Like, you didn't design the suits as 60s. I was a little not into that so much. But so let's talk about the other thing with this, which is the poster, which started an AI controversy. Now, I was poo-pooing this because I don't love when anytime there's something that's sus or isn't as good, people go, oh, they just wrote it with ChatGPT, or they just Peyton Reed, thank you, and they just they just used AI, and I don't like that idea because it's basically you're basically admitting that all bad art is computers, and you're kind of almost vilifying it as some sense of quality. To me, it's it's nothing. So I don't love to say things like that, but because you're almost sort of acknowledging it in art, even if it's bad, you're still acknowledging that it's part of that. But I don't particularly like those terms. However, I will say this with the poster. I didn't find it to be AI at all, to be honest. I just look like somebody who, made a lot of quick cuts in a poster. Humans can make bad art too. It's not not just unique to computers. Humans have been making bad art for a really long time, way longer than we've had computers. But it looked like it was composited bad. They repeated some stuff. They did a bad Photoshop. However, I'll give you guys, everyone who's no, you're wrong, it's AI, some credit in that when Marvel said it's not AI, they didn't go, it's not AI, it's made by this person who's a person. It's made by this firm, unless they've updated that. But every time I checked, it was it's not. I'm who did it? And they just respond it's not AI. And I was what now? I don't understand. I just, that's the part, sometimes people are oh, the internet's crazy. They'll just get so mad at stuff. And then you look at it, you're well, okay, but you could have, said who made it. You could have, calmed this down more if you had acknowledged someone did it. It wasn't, it's maybe some of the time it's you're aware the internet can do some of this stuff. And, you could stop it by saying hey, this person, and we could look at their other artwork and say oh, they have a history of doing that and stuff like that. The fingers thing, to me, it looked like somebody just it didn't look I thought the AI thing meant they had more fingers. I didn't think it meant less fingers, but I don't know. It's kind of, it's also why didn't you just get Alex Ross? That's the other thing about it that I don't really understand, but I don't know. But, Black, that's interesting. It wrote, one of the problems with blindly labeling things as AI is that it implies that if you think it's good enough, that you won't care if it's AI, and I think that's ignoring the issue with AI. It's a good chat there, Blacksy. I don't actually think it's AI. I think, like, there's a lot of, it's just somebody being quick cutting. Now, if they actually, now I'll say, like, if you're like, I don't have a leg to stand on in this, because they did not give an actual artist. They did not say it was this design firm, it was this advertiser, it was like something, and they've given us like nothing. So I have nothing to tell you, like no proof really, to be 100% with you. You know what I mean? It's like I don't have any proof that it's not, and they have not provided that, which I thought does not quell or stop this controversy. They just sort of went like, it's not leaving, and like that doesn't make me feel good. I just, I also didn't understand like why have a poster like that, like who's gonna look at that and like, oh, the poster with all the people cheering the Fantastic Four on, like you want a poster with them on it. Like it felt a lot of questions about that, but I don't know, I just didn't, I think they could have handled that better. And I didn't understand why have that poster anyway. It wasn't a great poster. It just like did nothing good for anybody. But I don't know. We'll see what's gonna happen with this movie. I don't think it's gonna do super well. So we'll see. We'll see. Jurassic World Rebirth. Now this is the film directed by Gareth Edwards, who was also the only one who would direct it, but it is sort of his big comeback to franchise filmmaking after, was it The Creator, right? And, good for him. It looks sort of like every Jurassic Park sequel, even though I don't know why it's called Jurassic World, like Rebirth. Why don't we just call it Jurassic Park Rebirth? Like, I don't, like, why would you want to call it Jurassic World? I guess maybe they felt people like Jurassic World more, which is a weird thing to say. But it's basically they realize it'll stop heart disease if, like, this DNA and all the medical advancements and stuff, so they're all going to go into, like, this scientist guy played by, I'm not sure, Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali are all going to go, like, extract this DNA and stuff. Supposedly, some of them will die, which is okay. That's what they keep saying. I'm a little more into this, but it does feel like you guys don't have that many ideas for Jurassic World sequels, because like everyone is like, oh, and we went to the island. No, not that one. Another one we didn't mention with even crazier dinosaurs. Like how many like was it Issa Nublar spin-offs we got in this place? It's just like it's crazy. Every time there's a sequel, they're like, no, we have another island. You're like, what? How could you have so many islands? I don't understand. Scarlett Johansson looks like she's doing the movie star thing. Mahershala Ali at least looks, I would say, like, cooler than he's looked in, like, action movie ready. It's the first time I think we've seen him on screen like years and years, which is insane. I am a little curious in like having these like different kind of dinos and stuff. I'm also a little like, okay, but what are we doing here? I still think it'd be cooler to have like the one that we were promised at the end of that second Jurassic World movie, where like you have dinosaurs in the real world and how we deal with it and stuff, which they didn't do. I just, like most people, no locusts this time. No locusts. So I know it's a different island. I know it's like one where they make the ones that are dangerous and just left them there. Is what it said. So I don't know. But yeah, it came out today. I don't think it like changed the world so much. But like, as someone at Cornbread brought up, each one made $1 billion of the Jurassic World movies. So I can see why, like, hey, you get Scarlett Johansson involved, you get like these newer people, they'll have another $1 billion hit. I am curious, like, what July is going to be like with these 3 movies. It's going to be interesting. So, I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, a violent one is supposedly there's like a boat scene they're keeping from the original book. But they shot it on film. Okay, cool. I mean, I don't know. I think with Gareth Edwards, like, he's enough of a special effects guy and stuff. He could probably get stuff to work. But it sounds to me like your involvement in the script of this, because they shot it so quickly, is pretty null. So I don't know if he actually got to do what he can really do, show off. So that's going to be interesting. I'm curious. I haven't heard any bad reports though for him, so I hope it works out. All right. Let's see here. Moving on. I'm not really having a trailer section because there's so many big trailers that you can't really do that. We're just bouncing around with them. But we're not going to talk about a trailer. We're going to talk about need some water. One of the thumbnail things. And it kind of broke ever since the last stream to this one. Is, whoa, Alex Giraffe, what's going on at work? I hope you're okay, man. You cause work trauma? Oh, man. I hope you're doing all right. I do want to see... I do need to see The Substance. That's like my big one. Anyway, there's a surprise Matt Damon? Oh, man, there's a lot of surprise Matt Damons in there. I've never had a surprise Matt Damon in my life, but maybe one day. All right, so Emilia Perez. The actress of Emilia Perez, Sofia Gerson, her tweets kind of came out, and they were I actually thought if you were going to just like jokingly write a Twitter account to get canceled, it would be these tweets. Have I seen Emilia Perez? Yes, that review will be coming. I won't say anything. But yes, everything from like that George Floyd was, a drug addict swindler to, I guess not like in the 2020 Oscars, because of, she wasn't sure if it was an Afro-Caribbean film festival is what she said. So many weird, kind of really shitty remarks like that. And there's been sort of some talk. And then basically, after all that, we found out that Netflix has sort of abandoned her. I know she gave like a very tearful like apology on Spanish CNN or something that didn't work about that. No, she said a lot of offensive. I don't think I could sum up all of the offensive things that she said, because she said so many. It's like kind of remarkable. Like, I don't think you could, if you made a video, like if I made, I made like every Cartoon Network show, you could make one like every offensive tweet she ever said, and it would be like a fairly long video. She just like was really into tweeting out offensive things. I'm not exactly sure what she was doing here, but whatever. But the film has Netflix has just abandoned her. They're not paying her to do any award stuff. I know she'd been, basically I saw this build over a day where it was like, first was like she's not going to be doing any award show things. And then the director first was like, I haven't spoken to her, and that she's selfish for not just like being quiet, and she's ruining their Oscar chance, which was like, dude, like none of you guys like give a shit about her, which is like kind of telling about the overall feeling of the film and stuff like that. Particularly they'll bring up, oh, she's being cruel to Zoe Saldana because she's nominated, now her chances are ruined. And I was just like, what the fuck? What kind of people is this? And then Netflix is like, we're not paying for her to travel to LA or anything like that. Probably for the awards. But no, that's about it. Like, as much as like there was all this hype, she's like first trans actress nominated and stuff. And I'll tell you, like, this is like taken over all of the Oscar. This is what I'm about to tell you is not a joke. I want to be clear about that. Because she also had She had another. Hold on. This started before it started. She started a thing with the actress Fernanda Torres from I'm Still Here. She started shit with her and her social media team, which she didn't actually have a social media team. It was like this weird thing she started, and then the offensive tweets thing happened. So it's weird. But then, like, this has been taking up all this stuff, and like, what's happening with Emilia Perez? Emilia Perez is falling, and all this stuff. And then, I'm not joking. There was an actual blackface Oscar controversy that like no one's heard about because all of this Emilia Perez thing has like taken over everything in terms of Oscar controversies. If you need to drop an Oscar controversy right now, now is the time, man. Because like Fernanda Torres, I'm not even joking here, really does have a blackface controversy thing that like anytime I've mentioned it, someone's like, "What are you talking about?" But it's which it was a sketch she did when she was a teenager, but it's still funny. I was like, normally that would be the huge. We'd be talking about that for a week, but like this thing is just like has so much material here. It's yeah, I do think the drop off. Have a good night, Alex Shirov. I do think the drop off is a tad. Well, here's the thing. It is like there's a couple of things at play with what's happened to her that I do think we need to kind of bring up. Is that okay? So they bought this film. The Cannes Film Festival was in May, I guess. It was a significant amount of time ago. Netflix bought this film at the Cannes Film Festival, right? It was a huge hit. I've heard a couple people say if they're at the Cannes Film Festival, this movie played great. They didn't know what they were walking into, and they're all kind of embarrassed now. But, so, they bought this film. They have the biggest Oscar campaign team at Netflix, like people who worked for Weinstein, because the Weinsteins were very good at doing Oscar campaigning. I'm not saying they're good people or anything, but that was like their whole deal. They hired all these people who worked for Weinstein, did all the famous Oscar campaigning to do this. They're going through the movie, they're campaigning for it. And a lot of people brought this up, and I agree with it, actually. So nobody went through any of these people's social media. And this has been a thing the press has brought up several times, that like the studios do not pay attention to this stuff. And then when it comes and bites them in the ass, or something like, I mean, you're fired. You can't be doing that. But it's like, but you didn't, no one went through her Twitter account and like just deleted it. Like could have thought of like deleting these tweets, or like if you had done this in July, none of us would have known about this. Like this went up, you have from May, not to say like it's okay that she said these things, but to say that like you have so many people looking after this whole thing, and this was just like let go for so long, speaks frankly a lot to them and how they feel about her as an actress. And I do feel like if it was Zoe Saldana, who I don't think has a super active social media following or anything like that, someone would have done that. And because it's a trans actress who, as I've talked about, it's been a while here with trans actors and actresses, but like they don't make a ton of money. Most of them, I think very few can even qualify for health insurance. So I think there is not going to be the representation there in terms of managers, agents, and stuff like that. I'm sure she was just about getting those, and they probably would have looked through those things. But at the same time, like Netflix definitely should have vetted this and made sure it like this is an absolute failure of their awards team. And the fact that there isn't any internal reporting that like they completely fucked up and stuff like that. It seems like they're just blaming her for everything, and everyone's just like, oh, it's her fault. And I understand they're her words, and that's what she said and stuff, but it does, their abandoning of her is like super telling, and particularly that film's view on trans people and that director's view on like the actual subjects he's covering is not surprising to me. But the fact that Netflix as a corporation who has so many resources did not see this is, it's one of those things where you go, you either did this on purpose or it's, completely negligent. And part of me thinks it's a little bit of both. But, yeah, I do think there is some transphobia in the fact that they've just abandoned her and they're basically like, you're ruining everything. But the fact is, like, she's not, like, continually tweeting like offensive things every day. These are old things that just keep coming up, but because there's so many, it's also like, but she was cast in this movie with these major stars. Like she works for Netflix with a huge deal. She's leading this thing. You were using her to promote this movie and get these awards and talking about, you know, how you've done this thing and all this stuff. But like nobody thought to look into this. It's just like, I don't know. I do think it's her fault. She's the one who did it. But like, what's going on? Like there's something fishy about this whole thing that I don't like. Who tipped them off? Probably someone who worked for a different studio. But like, how did they know about that? Like, who's scrolling through her Twitter account? But yeah, the director I thought sounded really insensitive. It's like, to me, it's like, it doesn't sound like, you know, if you ever have a friend get like canceled on social media, if you actually like them, it doesn't feel like, oh, well, they're a jerk. Like, I never felt that way about it. I feel sad mostly, you know, when those things happen. I think if you are thinking like, oh, they're ruining everything, but I do think it's fall off. But I'm also wondering, hold on, I'll get to that William moment. What was I going to say? I also think, that a lot of the Oscar voters aren't on Blue Sky. Blue Sky's new too, and aren't on Twitter, and might not even care. Like, might be like, whatever, I still like it. Like, the kind of people who like Emilia Perez. Do you really think, you know, I'm wondering how many of those people will still vote for it. I still think it could win a few Oscars. I don't think it was ever, the Best Actress was going to be like a little hard to do with the Demi Moore stuff. But like, I don't know. I wonder if the people who like this movie could not be dissuaded even by this. That you know, that's me. You know, after a Trump win, I don't have the most faith in voting for things right now. So I don't know. Anyway, William Ellman said, "The End, directed by the Art of Killing director, was the better, bloated, pretentious musical that should have been nominated over Emilia Perez." I actually think there's a lot. I mean, maybe Southland Tales should have been over that for what I've seen of Southland Tales. But cheers to you, William Ellman. Thank you, man. Okay, but it's just like, I don't know. It's sort of weird, this one, because as I've been watching this story, it's changed so much, and it's one of the weirdest, saddest stories of this Oscar campaign. You know, it's sad that she said that. It's sad seeing her contemporaries not give a shit about her. It's just like the whole thing. But it's like, it's also like really hard to like defend those tweets. Like, Jesus, like, it's like, I don't know. Nobody comes off good in this story at all. Like, it's either, you know, at best it makes Netflix look like a bunch of idiots. But at worst, there's so much worse. Like, I'm sure there's worse things I didn't even mention. Like, it's like such an overwhelming controversy. It's hard to get past it. And anyway, all right. So, okay, sorry. So there's going to be, believe it or not, even in this post Joss Whedon world we live in, I guess, there's going to be a Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot with Sarah Michelle Gellar. I'm assuming she will be Giles or something. I don't know. They didn't really confirm that. But Chloe Zhao is directing, and it's going to be written by two writers who wrote Poker Face. Where are those names? There was people who did Poker Face are involved. A lot of writers. Dolly Parton is back on this one. Written by Monica Ozu-Brin. And a bunch of people. But, there was a potential one in 2008 that didn't work out, blah, blah, okay. But, the thing with this reboot is I'm a little confused about it, because I'm surprised they would try to do a reboot after Joss Whedon was so like toxic and stuff like that, and he's so like iconic to that show. You know what I mean? It's really hard to imagine Buffy without Joss Whedon. But I do think like if you have writers for Poker Face, which is a good show, and I think that that kind of writing could work about it. And I'm surprised by Chloe Zhao. I kind of wish she would make just like Chloe Zhao movies again. Like I don't know. That's the one thing about that sucks when directors make it big, is like if they were an auteur before, they sort of a lot of them lose that, and you're like, what happened to that early work person? But yeah, supposedly there was a reboot that was going to happen, but I think the Joss Whedon thing held it back. And like, the thing is, like people like Drew Goddard or Jane Esposito, anyway, there was a lot of Whedon acolytes, and I'm sure she could have gotten some of those people. But after everything Sarah Michelle Gellar talked about and the other people talked about, would you want a Whedon acolyte working on there? I don't know if you would. So that might be why she sort of wanted to do a different thing. I'm very curious about this. I used to be really into Buffy, like too much. I had all the DVDs of, I think up to season 4 or something. I really haven't, anytime I tried to watch it, I get kind of embarrassed. I saw the TV Glow, the arc, that character has with their show is the arc I had with Buffy, like exactly. Like I was absolutely obsessed, and then I was older and I watched it and I was hiding under the covers with embarrassment. It was really like, I was like, wait, this was that show? Hi Sinram, by the way. This was that show, and I learned so much about writing for that show. And anyway, I really should rewatch it. It's my own being embarrassment. It was I was probably too into it, but I do think get the creator and the director of I Saw the TV Glow. I was like, how can we not be doing this without, like, I Saw the TV Glow to me is so much about Buffy and that fandom of Buffy, and like they even refer to it's like how can you not have them involved? Like I don't want a Buffy that's like the same show, but like, you know, Chloe Zhao did it and stuff like that. That stinks. Like, let's make it weirder and more Lynchy and stuff. Like, let's make this like the Marty Noxon. That was it. Sorry, Marty Noxon. But no, well, she's also a Whedon person. I don't think the Whedon people are coming back, which I think is probably better for it. But it can be like the original show was like, let's take the movie and do a different thing from the movie. So I can see like each version being a whole different thing could be cool. Supposedly, I think there's talk about them redoing season 8 or something like that. And I've heard they're talking about maybe it's going to differentiate from the comics. I think all the comics are like those Star Wars books and shit like that. They're like, just throw those out. We're not acknowledging those. So it'll be interesting to do that. Zane Paris says, what about a Firefly reboot instead? I've seen a couple of people with that. I actually saw, first off, cheers to you, Zane Paris. Thank you very much. And hello, Medilla Butterfly. I saw a couple, just coincidentally, YouTube was recommending me a few people from Firefly on the Michael Rosenbaum show, and almost all of them were like, yeah, I don't want to do that again, which I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. I mean, one of them was the woman who plays Deadpool's wife in the Deadpool movies. And I forget it was one of the actors, but it's interesting. It seems like the Firefly people are like, I'm good. So I think if we were going to do that, it would, I mean, most of them didn't have anything bad to say about Joss Whedon, but I don't know. It is crazy to me that people, if this had been announced without him before the cancellation, people would be freaking the fuck out. But I am curious about this. I will give it a chance. Maybe I'll rewatch some Buffy and stuff like that. But I think after I Saw the TV Glow, it's like I would get those people to do it if we're being real about it. I think that's the way to do it. I think that was like the best version of 90s kind of stuff. So, you know, I saw someone doing, speaking of 90s stuff, I should have shared it, but I saw someone doing Bjork Does Weezer's Buddy Holly, and I was like, this is like the most 1995 thing I've ever seen in my life, and I remember 1995. I'm okay with it. Chloe Zhao, I'm a little worried about. I want her to be the auteur. I don't really want her to be a work for hire thing, but yeah, I'm assuming that's what she wants to be. But and I'm not trying to dictate what someone should do, but it doesn't it suck when someone just goes mainstream and you're like, you'll lose that. I don't know. It always kind of sucks, you know. It's like I hope maybe she does a great job and I'll eat my words, but I always miss those people. All right. In a few 90s are not over news, Matthew Lillard is back in Scream 7, maybe it is. I have mixed feelings on this Scream movie because everything that happened with the last one, I'm not really super happy about that. But I love Matthew Lillard and would see him in anything. I like that he's sort of having a Lillard-assance, I guess, with this and Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm actually curious, could they get, as much as Jamie Kennedy's an embarrassment, and his YouTube channel was interesting when he talked about like him working on movies and stuff. That was like, I like those videos, but then every time I click over, like, hey, did he make more of those? Like, what happened when he was cast in that one movie things? It's like videos about cancel culture, and I'm just like, Jesus, dude, like, you had a good thing and now it's this. I wouldn't mind him coming back. I think that would have been cool. Seeing the original cast would be neat, but it's like we sort of already did that with Scream 5. So I don't know. I'm a little iffy on this. I guess I'll see it. I don't know. I didn't hate the Son of Matt. Thank you, Nathaniel Foga. The Son of Mass videos are interesting. But we'll see. We got the trailer for Megan 2, which looks really cool. It's just her dancing to Phenomena. From by Chappell Roan during the Grammys. I missed it on the Grammys, but I watch it later. It's just her dancing and showing off. Supposedly the plot of this, this was announced at the same time, is that they steal Allison Williams, who played the inventor in the original one, her technology, and make a kind of evil Megan AI robot for a weapons manufacturer, and the only way to stop it is they bring back Megan, and so Megan is basically, I will talk about Final Destination, it's like right under this, don't worry about Final Destination, Bloodlines, and so she'll be good, so it'll be like a Terminator 2 thing. I'm all here for that. That sounds awesome. That's a good way to take it. I like the first Megan. She is definitely like this generation's Chucky, but I do think it was a fun trailer they posted at the right time. I do like Megan. I still want Megan. I'm not joking about this. I want Megan to introduce the screenplay Oscars and make like AI jokes like and talk about how humans wrote the scripts and stuff. I know I mentioned that bit before, but I'm like, until they do it, come on, she's back again. We have another chance to have Megan introduce an Oscar category. Like, I retweeted recently Pee Wee Herman and RoboCop, and the Ed 209 from RoboCop did a thing together. We need more stuff like that. Like, you're gonna have movies, like have Megan do a thing. I don't know. You can have fucking Deadpool do something. I don't know. It's just like have character. I wouldn't mind some actual characters. I think that'd be a little more fun. Anyway, William Elman says, I want a Scream film where Sidney Prescott turns out to be a killer. That would be cool. And you find out maybe she's not a fan of horror movies. Maybe she's a fan of like a particular kind of movie that's, anyway, different. The hell don't breathe? What? I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, cheers to you, William Allman. Alright, so Final Destination Bloodlines, from the directors of the Kim Possible live action remake, not a joke. This was basically, all it was someone in a tattoo shop having a Final Destination thing happen. It was really cool. It's actually a great trailer because it makes you go, oh cool, it's back. Oh, that's a Final Destination scene. Cool. It looked fun. You don't really know what the concept is other than, it's a Final Destination. That's kind of all you needed. I was excited for it. It made me think I reviewed the first Final Destination. Maybe I'll review the second one when this comes out. That'd be fun. With the logs and all that stuff. It's been a long time since I watched that. That'd be cool. Every time they do a Final Destination, I'll do review an older one. That'd be neat. But it was a fun trailer. I thought it was really good. It makes you remind you why you like Final Destination. Like, you don't need to show clips. Just show us a scene. It's definitely not going to be the coolest scene in there. It's just like, here you go. It was a nice little, like, piercing kind of scene. I thought it was cool. And good job. Good job to them. What is with this Megan Fox in a Megan movie? I don't know. Final Destination, but it's Looney Tunes. I would be into that. All right, so the other people say stupid shit for some reason, not sure why, parts of this week. The director of the Terrifier movies felt compelled, for I don't know why, I could not, was anyone saying this, that the Terrifier, okay, I'm going to just read part of this. So Damon Leone, hopefully not related to Sergio, said, I want to make a very important statement regarding the Terrifier franchise in this ugly political climate we're living in. As most of you know, some of my cast and crew members have a very passionate political presence on social media with, oh, thank you, Manila. I always like these Medela Butterfly Super Chats. Sorry. Cheers to you, man. I appreciate it. Very passionate presence on social media with extreme and sometimes harsh opinions, which is their right. I'm all for freedom of speech and expression. That being said, Terrifier is not in any way, shape, or form a political franchise. I did not get into filmmaking to become a politician or to promote any political agendas or ideologies, especially through a killer clown movie. I fell in love with horror movies as pure entertainment, and those are the films I like to make. It goes on, and then he tweeted it or something and said, hopefully I never have to bring up politics publicly ever again, but this desperately needed to be said on behalf of the Terrifier franchise. Okay, so I've only seen the first Terrifier, and I would like to do reviews of them, and they are kind of like, they're sort of like silly, dumb, like baby movies kind of thing. It's like, look, he stabbed lady, and it like doesn't mean anything. And I knew that this in some ways isn't, but the fact that he felt the need to do this is really pathetic. Like, I don't understand why you would do this. It also, like, I think the thing is, horror is actually fairly political. It's actually gotten more liberal and gay more recently. If you look at the 80s, it was it didn't lean as liberal, but I do think, yes, a lot of the people are more political and trying to say something, and like Chris LaMartina, who I've known for a long time, he was not happy about this, and I know a lot of filmmakers and critics are not happy about this. I think this is a really stupid statement to make. Nobody was asking him to make this. Nobody was reading into the Terrifier things, and it both makes your movies look even dumber than they already were, which is impressive because they were pretty stupid. I did see a lot of people saying, like, cheering him on for not being political, which is, I don't know. It's like, I get it. If you don't want to be political, fine, but don't put out statements like this. Like, I don't understand what you think you're going to get from this kind of thing. It just, like, no one was making you be political. No one was saying Art the Clown, represents Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I don't know what you thought this, like, what? Like, I don't, no one did who is the person who works on the Terrifier movies who's like super woke or whatever? Like, I don't really understand what you're doing here. Like, with this, like, your franchise was building and now I think you're stupid. Like, what, I don't know. It's very odd to me, because I don't think anyone was reading into those movies. There's nothing to read into. It's just like, you like, to have a clown torture people, in particular the women stuff. But like, I don't know, man. I would have just stayed out of it. it was one of those like, whoa, I lost a lot of respect for you, and I don't know if I knew his name before this. So that's good, cool. It's gonna be when I see Art the Clown and Spirit Halloween, I'm gonna like roll my eyes now and then not buy anything and leave. Like, come on, what have you done here? Especially like they're doing a Silent Night, Deadly Night. I think that they were trying to get out this year. I don't know what happened with that. And now I feel stupid about it. It's just like, I think there is a certain amount of PR, but like sometimes don't say stuff. Like, I don't understand what people do. Like, sometimes shut the fuck up. And like, I do think that a lot of people have said that about certain celebrities. I think that more about social media when you're like, I don't know, statements like this. I'm sure people have said that about me too, but not to this degree. It's like, why write this weird statement? Like, because it's not like, hey, Terrifier is just not political. That's like a tweet and you go, whatever. But the fact that he goes on and on and on and on, and it shows like he doesn't really understand horror, which is like not a shock. Like, there's a lot of people who do horror movies. Like the Mickey Mouse one I reviewed, and I'm probably going to review the other ones. Those people don't, they barely understand what it is. And there's a lot of people like that. But, like, don't say it, dude. Like, just don't actually say those things. Like, don't be stupid like that. I just don't. And no one was saying, like, it was one thing if everyone was saying your art is like this, and you're like, it's actually not, and I'm not doing that. I'd meet you a little more halfway, because I understand that if people take what you did out of, take it out of the context you meant and stuff like that. But like, that's not, nobody was am I missing something? Was there an Art the Clown, is Trump sort of things? I think he's just like this crazy person. So I don't know. The Terrifier movies are just very super gore, and I was okay with what they're doing, but after this I'm like, I want my space from these fucking things. Jesus, what is wrong with this guy? Anyway, okay, so the Super Bowl is this weekend. I don't have any more things to say about that other than Superman is playing at the Puppy Bowl. The Superman trailer is only playing at the Puppy Bowl. They're not playing at the Super Bowl. A lot of people said there's no way they'd be that stupid. They are. But it's also that the Super Bowl ads cost $8 million, and they could not spend anything and do the Puppy Bowl because that's corporate synergy. Although Warner's always has that weird thing, like, well, one department has to pay another department thing, but whatever. Anyway, it's obviously cheaper than $8 million to be on the Puppy Bowl. I think there's going to be some Krypton stuff. I think they're going to do wall-to-wall Puppy Bowl things with Superman. So it's still, I think, a good idea. I'm curious if people will be talking about it as much. It'll probably be like Kendrick Lamar, something about football, maybe, I don't know. And then like, probably a trailer of another thing. But I don't know, I'm surprised. Warner's apparently isn't really doing the Super Bowl. But it's like, you do have the Puppy Bowl, and that does do well. So I get it to a regard, but like, Superman's sort of a big property. You'd think you'd want that in the Super Bowl. Like, those are the kind of people you want to see the Super Bowl movie. But whatever. I like the Puppy Bowl more anyway, so it's like, but I was already going to see it, so I don't know exactly what your plan is there. So Netflix announced their slate. Where are we on this? How many? Okay. Well, we're doing okay. All right, Netflix announced its slate. Knives Out 3, Happy Gilmore 2. Tina Fey has like this 4-season show. They're going to do game shows where you can actually vote, like interact at home. Going to do live game show sort of things, just like Monster Jam. So that's sort of what you were thinking. We got things of Del Toro's Frankenstein, stuff like that. I mean, it's basically like Netflix is pretty stacked. Stranger Things is happening. I've heard Christmas, although to me Stranger Things is a summer thing. I think that kind of sucks if they make us wait that long. Wednesday, Squid Game season is happening this summer also. Season 3. They shot them back to back, that's why. Puppy Bowl. See, Jordan Slovo, I know you don't watch the Puppy Bowl because it has an all-kitty halftime show. Clearly you don't know anything about the Puppy Bowl, dude. Come on. It's an all-kitty halftime show. But yeah, it's basically like Netflix knows that they are like, if you're going to have one streaming service, the one you have is Netflix. They are definitely taking advantage of that. I think Happy Gilmore 2 is going to have a lot of hype around it. Knives Out 3. These are all going to be huge titles. I do sort of think it's becoming more insular where like I don't know many people who watch Squid Games 2, and the ones that do go, "Oh yeah, no, like so this happened." Like no one's like, "Oh dude, you got to watch Squid Games 2." They're like, "Oh, yeah, no, I watched that and stuff happened." Like it's just nobody has the passion. So we'll see. I think they really need to turn that stuff around. The one thing that I know I always talk about how Netflix isn't transparent with the numbers. One thing that I did hear is like, so supposedly the Netflix chairman said they have 700 million people watching. And the reason they said that is because they have 300 million actual accounts, but they consider that several people use each of those accounts. So they actually count like 2.5 people per account. So if you ever hear them use a number that's significantly higher than 300 million, look up what the actual number is, because apparently they inflate it for these things, which bodes well for that top 10 they have. I don't know. Interesting. Rooster Teeth is back. I don't have much to say about this other than they don't have Red vs. Blue. They don't have a lot of their properties, but the company founder Bernie Burns brought it back. He's going to be working on stuff there. I hope the best for them. That sounds like a tough road to come back from, but they're doing it. Okay, now I will talk a little bit about the Grammys. The Grammys were pretty good actually compared to most of them. I think the main thing, other than I'm glad Beyonce won finally. Not Like Us is good. I don't know. It's got a lot of awards, but good for that song. And it was nice seeing Chappell Roan win and Sabrina win. The Sabrina performance was great, and Chappell Roan's performance was great. Charlie XX was cool. But the main thing to take away from this is there was a lot of LA Fire stuff. They sort of stole what everyone thought the Oscars should do, is have the firefighters introduce best album. So I don't know if you could do that for best picture now. I'm curious how they will handle the LA fires. I'm assuming maybe not as much as what the Grammys did, which they made it into a fundraising event, which everyone thought the Oscars should do anyway. I think they very much met everyone's expectations, and all the insinuating like the award show should do this kind of thing. They definitely met those. But if you are sick of LA Fire stuff, you're gonna have to deal with it at Super Bowl. You will have to deal with it in any other big public thing going on there. So if you watch the Grammys and you're like, wow, there's a lot of that, expect that to go on for the next couple award show big press things. I don't see that not happening going forward. So just letting you know. But I mean, Beyonce probably should have won for like. It's almost like that should have been like the one where she wins, where she's like got 2 already, and you're like, oh, this one. I mean, come on, guys. But like, it feels more triumphant. That's not that case. Okay, so this is, I guess, a Me TV Tunes sort of controversy. I didn't expect this. That Me TV Tunes has pulled. Well, okay, they took Rocky and Bullwinkle off because the distributor asked them to take it off the schedule, or is pulling episodes for now. So what's happening with that is we don't know. Like, there wasn't like an offensive Rocky and Bullwinkle clip that got unearthed. Like, are they restoring it? Everyone has their own pet theories. No one's sure. What I can say is that instead of Rocky and Bullwinkle, they'll have like a title card saying like the distributor asked these to leave. We're playing this instead. But at the same time, if you watch Me TV Tunes, they're still advertising Rocky and Bullwinkle, which is weird since they can't air it. I find this disappointing because I showed my daughter Rocky and Bullwinkle. We watched it a few times. It's not like one of their favorites, but I've been able to at least expose them to it a bit. And it's the only place to really watch it like that. So I do find it disappointing. I'd like the distributor to be a little more transparent about what's going on. And I think it kind of stinks to just pull something like that. So a lot of people said, oh, Me TV Tunes is lying. So I don't think they would have a PR nightmare like this, so I kind of think they did, but I'd really like to know like what their deal is exactly. Like, were they not getting, was it a corporate thing? Were they not getting paid? Are they being weird? Like, we don't really know. Also, they announced a thing called House of Hanna-Barbera, which will be sort of like what they do with Looney Tunes or their Looney Tunes block or Cartoon All-Stars or any of their other blocks where they just are going to play a lot of cartoons of Hanna-Barbera. If you didn't know about Hanna-Barbera cartoons, there's a lot of characters who you know their names who never actually had shows. They were like part of another show, or they would just syndicate it in a weird way and stuff. So I do actually think that could be cool, but they're airing it at weird times, so I don't know if, like, a lot of people said, oh, they're doing this to not have Rocky and Bullwinkle. No, they're like separate time slots entirely. I don't see, but I do find it weird that their House of Hanna-Barbera, which they've hyped up a little bit, is airing like in the afternoon, like where they are Tom and Jerry and the other stuff. But I get that that's like what they do, but it sounds like a cool show, actually. I'd like to check out the House of Hanna-Barbera block. Okay, moving on. We are starting to see some Day the Earth Blew Up stuff, but I'm already hearing that supposedly before Dogman there's a trailer and it's saying it's coming out in March and not at the end of February, which makes me nervous. I haven't heard an official announcement, and part of me is like, did someone in another country post that or something? So we'll see what's going on there. But I haven't heard a lot of people pick that up, so I only heard about it by chance before the show, so I'm a little nervous about that. I kind of wanted to see that in theaters, and I don't want it to get delayed again. People are saying, oh, it got moved because of Captain America and stuff like that, but no one's really sure. The Anaconda's cast was announced with Jack Black doing a song, which was kind of cool. That's really it. I don't have much else to say about that one. Elliot Page and John Leguizamo were cast in Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. Good for John Leguizamo. He could probably use, that kind of boost. He's such a great actor. I'm happy for him. And Elliot Page as well. Run through some of these. Some superhero stuff here. There's rumors of Harris Dickinson for Cyclops as well as Jack Champion. Who knows, but that's supposedly who they're sort of looking at. As well as Chris Evans is saying he won't be in Doomsday. I would believe him if he wasn't in the last Marvel movie that came out. I sort of think it's really he's playing a different character again, but we'll see. And then Toxic Avenger has a release date, which is August 29th, around Labor Day. I know it's not the greatest release date, but it's something, and I'm happy for Toxic Avenger. What else do we have down here? Okay. Before I talk about box office... Oh, it's getting late here. Sorry. The voice actor of He-Man, John Irwin, passed away at 88 this week. Supposedly died in December, around December 20th, but they just announced it now. You know what? He-Man was a big show for me growing up, so I don't want to not acknowledge him. It was kind of when I was a little kid, like the first show I could watch with any sort of violence. In fact, it was because I was at the playground and all the kids on the playground knew who He-Man was, and I didn't. And my parents were embarrassed, so they let me watch the rest of the universe instead of just Sesame Street all the time. But it's sad that he passed away, and I wish his family the best. And I know it was over a month ago and all that, but he was a major part of pop culture and a major part of my life watching cartoons. And thank you for all the good memories and for being a cool He-Man. I always think that voice is so iconic with him. So thank you for that. Right before the box, I will say I saw the Will Smith thing, the Matrix thing, was a music video with Big Sean, where he is Neo and stuff. It's really embarrassing, and I don't know what he was thinking. And it was not worth all that hype. I don't know what Will Smith was thinking there. All right, so box office. Let's get into. We'll do the box office. Take a break. Yeah, we're actually not as bad now that I'm thinking about it. I always get nervous about stuff. But so box office. Any super chats y'all want to do? We have like 40 minutes, 45 minutes left in the show. 30 minutes. Anyway, this is we're in the end game now, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, okay. So what? Why would it? You're not letting me look at the. Okay, I see what we're doing there. So Dogman opened this week, and it opened pretty good actually with 36 million. This would make it the second. It opened bigger than Captain Underpants, which opened at 23. This opened at 36, which is good. I actually didn't know Captain Underpants made about 73 million in America. I thought it had done worse, so that's cool. And it's the widest opening of 2025, as well as the second biggest animated opening in January, second to Kung Fu Panda 3. But the biggest thing is right now, Dogman is the highest grossing movie of 2025. So in one weekend, it beat, I think its biggest competition was One of Them Days, which, congratulations, Wessonator. It just crushed all the competition. Dogman is the biggest ever, as of right now. I'm sure that will go away when Captain America comes out. But before then, Dogman, biggest movie released with 2025. So congrats there. Which is pretty crazy. Other box office stuff. Companion was at number 2 with 9 million, which is good for it. I've noticed the horror stuff, when it's not like exploding, people are less kind to the horror stuff, which I don't love, frankly. But one thing that, I continually talk about how everything is holding well. If you're a movie that has, or an in-calendar release, as it's called, or a film that came out in 2025, you're dropping like fly. Like, they're like dropping. The averages compared to last week are extreme. Flight Risk dropped 53%. Presence, 60%. Den of Thieves, 46%. Wolfman, 64%. And we're having these huge drops, and these are in 2025. However, films like Mufasa, Sonic 3, Moana 2, A Complete Unknown, The Brutalist, they're all actually really holding well. Which I think is funny. That we still have the previous year's things are holding super well. Like Mufasa's number 3. Sonic 3 is still in there. The only 2025 movie that keeps holding is One of Them Days, which is at number 4. It keeps doing well. It only fell 26%, which is really, really good. It's really holding strong. And I think it will continue because SZA is in the halftime show. She's getting a lot of exposure right now. I expect this to do that this coming weekend, the weekend after. We're just going to keep seeing it do well. I mean, I expect it to stay in the top 5, to be 100% with you. But all of this is good. It's actually a better box office. It's just the January stuff is dropping, but that's what January stuff does. You know what I mean? It's not, Presents, I will say, it's at about 5 million. It costs nothing to make. So everyone who's dogging on it is it's a flop. I'm they shot it in 11 days for under $1 million, and it's made 5, and it's going to make, I'm sure it's broken even already because they didn't spend that much on promotion, and then, hoping horror stuff does better on VOD, which is what this kind of bracketed budget-wise does, but I'm assuming because Sonnenberg's involved, they're being a little harsher on it, which is to be expected. But yeah, and Sonic 3 and Mufasa, this thing is going on. They're really neck and neck. I think Sonic 3 is still a little before it. Sonic 3 is now the second highest grossing video game movie of all time. I do not think it'll cross the Super Mario Brothers movie, but congrats to Sonic 3, both domestically and internationally. But Mufasa's at 229 million. Sonic 3 is at 230. We see them neck and neck. It looks like Mufasa, since it's doing better and holding better and is in more theaters, is probably going to end up making more. It definitely made more internationally, but the fact that it's, I don't know. I do like that the box office is doing well. It seems like people are seeing movies. Whether they're seeing the new ones or not, that's a whole other thing. But I kind of wish Mufasa did worse. I mean, it didn't do as well in comparison. Sonic 3 is the biggest Sonic movie. Mufasa is like not at all the biggest live action remake movie. So, in comparison, Mufasa still didn't really do as well. But whatever. It's interesting. Oh. William Oman says, Jim, with 28 years later coming out soonish, did you see Transporter 2? It's a great sequel, but nobody saw it. I did. I think I reviewed it. I liked Transporter 2, or T2, which Cameron let him do. But yeah, I did review that. I enjoyed it, as I recall. I still remember, like, some of the cinematography, and, like, that's a... Yeah, I would say that's underrated, maybe. Although it's been I've only saw it once, but I still remember it, which is more than I can say a lot of movies, which I'm like, yeah, I saw that, and I'm like, wait, who was in it? It was about what now? Her mom went to the Amazon to look at spiders? Anyway, cheers to you, William. Man, Trainspotting 2. Surprising me with that one. Alright. Oh, in the last box I was saying, I like that one of them, this is, I believe, a Chinese import. I'm not 100% on this, but it's called Creation of the Gods 2 Demon Force. That's a fucking great name for a title. Creation of God Demon Force. Fuck. Wait, there's a Swept Away re-release? It's not that Swept Away, is it? Is it that Swept Away, or is it the foreign Swept Away? I'm going to assume it's not the one with Madonna. Sorry, I just saw that at the end. I was like, what the fuck? Anyway. Alright. So, where are we on this? Alright. I am going to now take a break. Then we're going to talk very quickly about common side effects. And then questions. And then that's it. Right? I covered everything, I think. Right? Yeah. Anyway. I guess I didn't talk about the state of the world. Guess what? It's bad. Not the one with Madonna confirmed. I know that the original was like very acclaimed. I never saw either. Man, Madonna, like, I really wish her film career had worked out, because I think could have been cool, but like she just didn't get. I don't think the people who are making the kind of movies Madonna would have been good in were not doing it when she was at her peak stardom, and I think that sort of sucks. It's just like, she's good in Desperately Seeking Susan and Evita and what was the other one? Dick Tracy. But everything else, it gets a little murky. I know there's a bunch I haven't seen though, and I never saw Truth or Dare. Anyway, sorry. Let's all right. I am. Yeah, she was awesome. Dick Tracy. I need to rewatch that maybe. All right. I am going to take a break. We're going to put up the. I mean, I don't know. People, I think, are too harsh on her. She did a lot. She changed a lot with the music industry. We wouldn't have the Deftones without her. Don't forget. All right. I mean, I don't know. It's not perfect. I wouldn't make a Dick Tracy special out of it or anything. All right. I'm going to take a break. Then we'll get back to talk about common side effects. And I will be... Yeah, Dick Tracy did play to her strengths. You're right. I will be right back after this. Okay, hello. Sorry, I am back. Wait, I need to go. Sorry. Actually, I didn't bring this up. I actually injured, I don't know, it just hurts my hand on the washing machine. I don't know if it's gonna, it looks like it's gonna bruise, but I had some ice on it. It's just like, closed it too hard, I guess. So, kind of, I don't know. Yeah. All right, I need to put that. Just does not feel 100%. So yeah, but I think, yeah, shit happens sometimes. I don't know. I never. Oh, I also like drop my. You know, if you drop your phone on your foot, I don't have a. I can't. I'm not. I can't show it to you anyway. I'm not gonna just show you. This isn't that part in Jaws or that part in Chasing Amy. I like actually had a bruise like on my foot from dropping my phone. So it was an accident, but it didn't feel good. Anyway, now you need it. I'm not sure. I forgot to say this at the beginning. I'm not sure when next week's show will be. Which day exactly? But I know on the 21st, I'm gonna try to do it on Friday. So if you ever like, I know these are on weekdays and everybody's got to work and everything like that, but I'm going to do a Friday one, that one specifically. So if you, yeah, I don't know, just to let y'all know, that's the plan at least. I have dropped my phone on my face in bed, and it luckily it just went flat, but it didn't. This was like on the side, went pop. Anyway, doesn't matter. Sorry. Yes. All right. So what I wanted to get, let's make sure I have everything. You've dropped a frozen chicken breast on your foot before? Yeesh. Yeesh. All right. Let me get this comment. We're going to do this comment side effect thing. I think we can do everybody's question tonight. We're a little late but early, I guess. Sort of a weird movie news. Maybe I just should have read off all her offensive tweets. That's the real thing holding the show back. You really wanted me to just go. I feel like at a certain point, be like, could you just stop? I don't like this anymore. I thought about having an article and reading more of them, and I was like, I don't like this. Anyway, all right. How are we going to do this? Where's the stopwatch? On the phone. Timer. All right. I'm going to do 2 minutes, which I should have done with Spider-Man, but I didn't because I wanted to talk about it. I don't know. But let's just keep this to a short, because I feel like these things work a little better and all that. So, movie crap mean tweets. Oh my God, that would have been a great Jimmy Kimmel bit, is make the cast of Emilia Perez read off like the tweets and stuff. That would be, they're not going to do it. But that would be a crazy mean tweets Oscar edition. You couldn't do that this year, could you? Oh man, she really fucked up, didn't she? Oh man. Actually, oh no, you get people from other, you know what? They shouldn't do it. There's no way it's a good idea, but you've got me thinking that. All right, I am going to take an energy drink because it's been a long day and I want to get through this. If you want to do a super chat before the end, now is your time. However, I'm going to drink a little bit of this Zoa. It is, you know what though? I had one the other night. If only Jimmy Kimmel was hosting it. You know, it's the only time I think I'll ever admit to that, Sinram. So, thank you. I had one the other night because I was shooting a ton of stuff. And I will say, everyone I've talked to brings up is always like, oh yeah, I always feel better about it. Someone said it's the coconut water. I don't know if that's true. But definitely don't feel as bad as, not that I feel horrible or anything. But you know, after soda with all this stuff. Anyway. Okay. All right. I'll just show you the phone I'm going to try to do it in 2 minutes. Because I feel like that's... If I don't... I'm... Okay. I feel like I'm intimidated by this. Maybe I could do 3 minutes. No, that's a week way out. We're going to do 2 minutes. All right. All right. Common Side Effects is a new show on Adult Swim from executive produced by Mike Judge and Greg Daniels and created by one of the co-creators of Scavenger Reign and created by one of the co-creators of Scavenger's Reign, Joe Bennett, and his animation studio, who also made Scavenger's Reign, Green Street Animation, as well as Mike Judge and Greg Daniels studio, as well as William Street, all come together to make this awesome show. It is about a guy who discovers a mushroom that can basically cure anything and heal you, and obviously the pharmaceutical companies do not want that out as he's being hunted by the FBI and stuff, because they're obviously the government does not want someone to be able to have that kind of medicine that can cure everyone no matter what. And it's obviously like dangerous and opens up a lot of things there. It has a really great voice cast, including the voice of from Carol in The End of the World is in there as well. It's sort of like a modern adult animation supergroup in a sense. It has a lot of cool things with it. One, a girl who's working for the pharmaceutical company trying to make a new product. You have FBI agents trying to get him to stop him. And you have this cool guy who found these mushrooms trying to help people and be on the run with his turtle. It's a cool, interesting, unique show. It's actually probably, when you talk about adult animation, usually you talk about inappropriate words and, trying to push the envelope. I don't know if this show is necessarily trying to do that in the same way. I think it's trying to do an actual very adult written show, like almost an adult drama, specifically about what would happen in the US if you actually had a mushroom that could, cure you and heal you and do everything and fix people no matter what. What would this kind of like miracle drug and how would it go down with the balances of power we presently have in our country? Okay, shut up. And how our modern society would have to deal with it. It's a really interesting investing show. I think it's probably it's a show I was really hyped for, and it's really met my expectations. It's both fun and engrossing and really smart. And if you were kind of cheering on Luigi, I think it is definitely the show for you. Cool. We sort of did it in 2 minutes. I feel good about that. We sort of did. I did it in 2 minutes. I feel good. We accomplished something. There. Right? Somebody say I did. Okay. Anyway, please clap. Let's just do the questions. Let's do the questions. The Patreon questions. Whoa. Sinram. I didn't read this before and I'm regretting it. I want to... Okay. Oh, okay. It's only on... All right. I'll do the Nathaniel Focus first because that is the only one that is brief. Nathaniel Focus, do you hope they have a Herbie the Love Bug reference in the new Fantastic Four? If they do... We know where they got it from, obviously. I don't know. When was Herbie the Love Bug? Oh, wait. Hold on. I need to write questions below. Sorry. I don't know when the first Herbie the Love Bug movie is. It's not like a thing that... Thank you, Senator. It's not a franchise I'm super familiar with, so... I'm not sure, but if they do, I like that people like that cartoon from 20 years ago now, which is hilarious. I need to re-release it for that, I think. Sinram. This is, I'm assuming, because of last week, but Sinram is a good guy. I've known him forever. All right. Referral, yeah, pre-pizza party, which from most people didn't care about me then. But, all right, Sinram says, I don't wish to be a nuisance. You're not. But I may not have phrased my question clearly last week. You cited a couple of examples of cinematography theories, such as POV shots, representing a character in black and white, being used for period setting. What I'm looking for is a general definition for cinematography theory, like if I were to ask someone to define color, they would simply name color, red, blue, pink, etc. That wouldn't help a blind person understand what color is. Wikipedia defines film theory as a method of studying film and film history, but I'm reminded of a disagreement that you and I had a few years ago. You said the three-act structure was merely a way to analyze a film or its screenplay, whereas I was taught the three-act structure was a method of developing a film script, not simply a way of looking at it once it is finished. Could this simply be applied to film theory and by extension cinematography theory as well? After all, I doubt it was a coincidence that Steven Spielberg decided to film Schindler's List not only in black and white, but with handheld cameras for several sequences. That seemed quite intentional on his part. So if Steven Spielberg wanted to give a shot on the fly as it happened feel to Schindler's using these techniques, would you agree that cinematography theory is a method of presenting a film visually, or is it a method of analyzing the finished product, or is it something else entirely? Damn. Damn, dude. Film theory is sort of, I don't think how they define it here. It's not just studying film, it's sort of analyzing film, which I guess is also studying film. But it's a method, yes. I would agree that it is a method for presenting a film visually, but it's sort of like presenting a film visually, kind of like you being aware that they are presenting it visually in a distinct auteur or authored. And when I say auteured, it just means authored. It doesn't mean... Anyway, this is a whole video I made, whatever. But it is also a way to analyze the final product, because when I see that he has done Schindler's List in black and white, which was, still of the period when he made that, and he was trying to do handheld cameras to give it a certain feel, you can analyze it in that way, but he also is presenting it visually in that way for a specific reason. Like I do think like Presence, which just came out, there's a specific story he's telling with the camera being that way, and I think the same way with the opening shot of Halloween, there's a specific reason the shot is that way, and same with the first Friday the 13th, as well as I can't, or Time Code, which I know you got me review all those. There's a specific reason they're doing that. There's a specific storytelling function for how that is. My kind of thing, I do think you could say it is both a method of presenting it visually and also a method of analyzing the final product also. But I think why I bring up that the Academy doesn't do that, other than I think Schindler's List won cinematography, I don't remember, but is that most of the time when a film takes on, like Presence is probably going to end up being one of the more interestingly shot films of this year, right? It will never be considered for the Oscar because, one, they just nominate the same 10 movies they're going to nominate, which is a different problem. But also, if you do an interesting cinematography like that, they usually don't acknowledge it. So I think it's sort of what maybe I'm using wrong terms here, maybe I'm mixing terms here. Oh, I'll get to you, Austin. Is the idea that like the cinematography is an additional storytelling, has an additional storytelling function when you choose to have it done in a specific way, other than just film stock, which is another terms of storytelling. Picking a film stock, picking a lens, having it be beautiful cinematography in a certain way. I think of the Banshees of Inisherin. Clearly they picked it that way, even though that is kind of more traditional, beautiful cinematography in a certain way. So I do think it is a very, it's sort of a hard thing, and maybe I'm not describing it clearly, but I do think yes and yes. And where was the question in here? Could this be applied to film theory and by extension cinematography as well? I do think so. The 3-act structure thing is a whole other. I do need to make a thing on that at some point, but that's a whole other. But I do. It's sort of like a similar thing, but I do think like they are knowingly using a theory. Like they're like, okay, well, if I'm shooting it this way, I can't think of it as a traditional film. Or even how they shoot Mission Impossibles, they shoot them in a specific way or something like that. So I think it is like knowingly, purposefully doing it in a certain way. But I mean, all films do that in a certain regard. But I think it. Sorry, I think this is like a big. I'm actually into this. Sorry if I'm like struggling to articulate. I actually really do like this. You're not being a nuisance at all, Syndrome. I love talking about film theory like this, but I think it's sort of like understanding the more auteurism through cinematography. And I guess in most people's minds, cinematography is an extension of the director or someone helping them, and they're not thinking of them as much as an auteur. And possibly, and maybe this is like a larger thing, is like cinema does not like to push things outside of that auteur theory and acknowledge other things within that auteur theory of other crew members. So maybe that is the larger reason they don't want to do that, because to me, it's like when you see a David Fincher movie, you don't think of the cinematography. Unfortunately, most people think David Fincher movies are shot this way. Whereas Roger Deakins, I think most people think of him that way, but very few cinematographers get that kind of voice. So I think it is sort of like the idea that of acknowledging a different kind of cinematography and their own certain director of photography voice. Did I say that right? I hope I did. All right, Austin, I'm going to do 2 views in a row, but you did a super chat, so we'll do it. Austin said, since Luigi, Mario, John Leguizamo. You know what's funny? When I saw Luigi, I didn't think that was Luigi you're talking about, so this is cool. Was cast in the Odyssey. Do you think if Chris Pratt was cast in the movie so it can be Mario Odyssey? Sorry, I meant this earlier. Finish this question first. Okay. I do like the Mario Odyssey thing. Anyway, cheers to you, Austin. Thank you for that. There we go. All right. Cineram, I hope I did that. I hope that was good. If not, do another one. I'll do it again. I'm not annoyed at all. That was cool. Austin, hey Jim, what a great show. Been a rough week for me trying to stay healthy, not get sick. I'm in bed asleep at this point. You are? Wow. And you did a super chat in bed asleep? I'm sorry. You're spending money in your sleep. That's problematic. But my question, which last up next week, which cornbread, I'm not sure. Wait, which cornbread question, I'm not sure what he says. I didn't collaborate for a bit. I generally guess based on what is going on in the news. My question is, why do people like Smurfs? As someone older than me, you watched the cartoon at some point. Did people like it back then? Yes, they did. Why do movie studios keep making reboots of the Smurfs movies? Do they make money in Denmark or Sweden? And why haven't the Snorks come back? The way cooler than the Smurfs. Oh, I will say, I used to have an ongoing joke with my friend Kool-Aid in high school where we'd suddenly get in an argument over who was cooler, and I think I picked the Snorks and he picked the Smurfs, and it was like an inside joke that was a dumb thing to argue about. They were extremely popular. I think they were the longest running Saturday morning cartoon of all time. So the Smurfs were very, very popular at one time. I think that is why. I know they do very well internationally. That's probably also why. But the Smurfs were like, I think they've been minimized, but they were like a big cartoon all throughout the 80s. A huge property. And they still have gummies if you look in the right places to this day. But yeah, they were actually really, but I was only sort of into it. I never got as all, but I watched a lot of TV. So like, did I watch a lot of it? Yes, but like not like yeah, I don't think I ever had any toys of it. I don't think I did. Did I? I don't think so. I don't know. My mom wants to write a comment. Didn't say I did. I did. I think I might have had some. I think I had more Snorks. I remember getting Snorks at Hardee's, and their Happy Meal was a skateboard, and I tried to ride it, and a lady who worked there yelled at me. I'm glad I remember that. All right, Cornbread said, "Why is everyone complaining about the shit that doesn't matter in the Fantastic Four player? Who cares about Galactus or whatever? Why didn't they say, Thing Ring, do your thing? See who's that hack job." Actually, you know what I didn't mention? I love the Thing in his coat and hat. Like, I love that because, like, it's such a silly comic thing. But, like, obviously that's not hiding him, but he feels good in it. I like that. Although I would change it to a hoodie. But I guess it's the 60s still. But if it's now, he should be wearing a hoodie, right? Anyway, Rocket Lowback says, how long until an AI-generated remake of Birth of a Nation? I actually had to deal with that movie today. You know, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. But probably not. I'm sure the kind of people who would want that will want an AI remake. Not plausible. If you ever got invited on a late show like Kimmel, Colbert, etc., what would you talk about? I'm assuming movies. Probably. Sorry. It was Colbert. I'd be like, why are you so much worse than you used to be? Does that bother any? That always bothers me about Stephen Colbert. Like, such a cool show. And like, literally people would used to say, like, young people watch Colbert Report because it's not real. And like, but like Jon Stewart, the older generation felt was more real because he's talking to you, but obviously that's put upon and it's a show. Whereas Colbert Report, like, was ironic and like was constantly talking about that. And now I feel like all his cred with my generation is gone, and now he does cred with my parents, which is strange. I've never heard of an entertainer doing that to the regard that he has, in ways that, like, it makes me kind of sad, to be honest with you. Not that he like rejected my generation or something, but just that like he had changed so much artistically. It's a little depressing. I don't know. The Westinator. Have you ever heard of Robbie? Had you heard of Robbie Williams before Better Man? Yes, I had heard of Robbie. He had Rock DJ was a pretty big hit in the late 2000s. Nathaniel Foga, favorite ice cream flavor. I'm a big Ben and Jerry's fan, and Netflix and Chill is probably my favorite. I actually like the Jimmy Fallon one, which I'm embarrassed about. But those probably, or just, chocolate and stuff. Are you seeing The Monkey, Mandela Butterfly? Oh, the movie. Yes. I actually saw Long Legs, but I didn't get to shoot a review, but I would like to see The Monkey. Al Vasquez, how would you feel about a Firefly reboot, even when Joss Whedon isn't involved and Ron Glass has passed away? I was never as big into Firefly. I think maybe, but like it seems like nobody wants to do it, so I guess you have to have the right vibe or people thing to get them involved. You have the right concept to get them involved. Sorry. Zane Powers, who made the dumber comment on horror movies? The Terrifier director or Jeff Snyder say sorry. Saying Nosferatu, TV Going Long, etc. weren't good and didn't deserve to be nominated. I do not like Jeff Snyder's movie opinions. I like him talking about the industry and scoops. I'm fine with, and he's good at that. But I really wish he wouldn't talk about it. See, here's the thing: the Terrifier director, we didn't know he felt that way and was that stupid. Jeff Snyder, we already knew was that stupid. So there's a difference. The difference is the Terrifier guy surprised us with his stupidity. Jeff Snyder, we already knew that was his movie opinions are not really great. So it's like you can have bad movie opinions, but the fact that he like tweets it, like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, people should understand we don't want you talking about certain things, and there's a reason for it. And it's like you can just. He has a blog where he does that stuff, and usually it's there, and we don't have to see it. But like, anyway, Sinra, have you seen any Gina Gershon films before Showgirls or Bound? I don't think so. Well, I've seen Cocktail, but I saw that after I'd seen that movie. So I guess I have seen her in something for that. No, I'm gonna legit check to see if I did. Oh, The Player. I think I did see The Player before those. So yes, The Player. I saw The Player's great. Is it that Player? It is that Player with Robin Artland's The Player. Sorry. Nathaniel Fogo, when's the last time you had a good pizza? Probably a few weeks ago at Brooklyn Pizza Crew. They're pretty good. Blocks the Oxen Winkle. Can they do a Jurassic World movie where it's just Willem Dafoe in dino costumes? I mean, they should. Nathaniel Fogo, favorite Super Bowl? I would say the one where the Giants won, I guess, against whatever's in Boston. It was like 2008, 2009, and no one thought they would. That's the only one I really have many feelings about. It made me feel like I could like sports, and then I did it for a little bit and then got out because I was like, I don't know if I can really take on another serious addiction like that. like movies, Al Vasquez, have you read any Sonic comics? Also, maybe you should get into the IDW Sonic comics with your kids. They're also really enjoyable and do strong characterizations of the Sonic cast. Yeah, we have a lot of the sorry, IDW graphic novels actually, and they are really good. I like those. I don't know the Archie comics very well, but we have a few of those, and they're really good. I agree with you. Same Powers, does it ever piss you off when a comic reboots and characters are using technology or were from a time period that is now younger than yours? Should Spider-Man have in the 60s forever? No, that doesn't really bother me. I mean, sometimes when they are referring to things, you feel a little old, but it doesn't bother me. I think things should evolve with the times. It is interesting, Fantastic Four we think of as a past thing, but I don't know. It's a weird property. Not plausible. Are there any Baltimore, New York stereotypes you are proud of? Baltimore, I think, is just being gross and horny. I think that's cool. In New York, I think it's just the pizza and forget about it, I guess. Maybe. Okay. Black Seahawks Only Goal. Have you read the sequel to The Martian, Project Hail Mary? I don't know if it could work as a movie, but it's one of the best sci-fi books I've read in years. What's your favorite sci-fi movie? I mean, probably just Star Wars, but or Mind Game or Akira, probably be up there. But I had heard of it. I haven't read it, but that's cool. I like The Martian. I think that kind of gets forgotten about. It's a pretty good, solid movie. Zane Powers, if you don't want to watch a horror movie where people are violently murdered and nothing else, are you closed-minded and too afraid to challenge yourself? I mean, yes, you would be. Cornbread. Okay, so Emilia Perez can have a nightmare creative team, horrible media tour, and actors making the film look bad, and it gets 13 Oscar nominations, but when Madame Web does it, nice. I like that. Zane Powers, now that the studios want to work with more YouTubers thanks to Mr. Beast Beast Games, when are we getting your streaming show and what will it be about? I've heard that about the Beast Games things, but yeah, I don't really have an idea, but if they want to talk to me, I don't know. I don't think that'll happen, but we'll see what's happening there. Thoughts on Richard Dawkins? Is that the guy from... Who is that? Just so I'm... What's the deal with this guy? Oh, because you asked me about the God delusion thing? I don't have any thoughts on this guy. Okay. Sorry. I don't know. Cornbread. If Dogman is the modern RoboCop for children, should he show up at the Oscars, and who should he save? Ooh. Yes, he should. Sydney Sweeney, I guess, because she's famous and a lady. Is there anyone else who's notoriously should be saved? Maybe just her. I don't know. That's who she should go out with, is Dogman. I don't think she has a big dating thing like that, but she should. Her and Dogman, I'd support it. Kid and the Wolffox. Have you noticed any Netflix shows recently having the voices not be in sync with the acting? I've seen it a lot lately. I wonder if it's headphones, because sometimes I notice with Bluetooth headphones, certain things will be out of sync. I haven't noticed that before, but I'm curious if that is why. Zane Powers, what is the element of film theory that is the most difficult to explain? Can you explain it in full here? I think a lot of them can be. I would say the cinematography theory is actually a little difficult. Or just explaining to people why different, like all those different things are valid. I think that's often hard to explain because people will go, oh, I don't like horror, I don't like cartoons, I don't like this. And you can't explain it to them and they'll just sort of look at you glassy-eyed. So I'd say that's actually probably it. Okay. Favorite Smurf game? I do not. There are them. I don't. Cornbread says, was the Luigi joke in your common side effects also a Mario joke because Luigi mushrooms? If so, good layer jokes. Props. Totally was. Favorite Smurf? Papa, maybe? From Nathaniel. Smurfs or Moomins? Not plausible. Ooh, Moomins. Do Smurfs lay eggs? Zane Powers. I don't know. Are they not supposed to? Are Smurf gummies better than Flintstone vitamins? I mean, I don't think they're those kind of gummies, but I don't think they'll do much for you other than give you sugar. Zane Powers, was college the best years of your life? Well, they're a lot easier, I'll say that. Cornbread, chasing Austin's question, is there a certain cartoon show you feel is untapped in terms of excitement in children's vitamins? You know, Mighty Mouse and Popeye. You had some, like, Popeye spinach vitamins. Let's bring Popeye back. Popeye back, sorry. Zane Powers, is there a cartoon character? Oh, we did that. Cornbread, we know. Oh, question from M. T. You think The Substance would have been the controversial Oscar villain nominee if Emilia Perez was nominated? No, I think. I mean, there's a couple things with that. Is it? It's a tough year. Like, there's not a confirmed winner, so I think that makes it a little more open-ended. I think it would have probably been, like, complete unknown, or I don't think it would have been The Substance. Substance is sort of like, for a horror movie, there's, yeah. What do you think about Robert Eggers' Jurassic Park? I think that would be cool, Embla T. That seems like a cool idea. Oh, Not Plausible says it was the greatest Super Bowl. I've heard people say that, so I guess I'm not wrong. What's the worst Oscar snub this year, Al Vasquez? I saw the TV Glow. And also, I would say People's Joker because of Emilia Perez. I never thought that film would get an Oscar nomination, but the fact that you picked, two trans filmmakers don't get nominated, and that does. I'd say both need to be in there. Thoughts on Ken Penders, the infamous Sonic comic writer? I hear he's weird. That's about it. Why must you betray me by reading the Virgin IDW Sonic comics over the Chad Archer comics? Okay. Zane Powers, thoughts on Ian Flynn, the famous Sonic comic writer? I don't know who that is, so no. Cornbread, thoughts on Sonic? I don't know. He's kind of a punk. Why is he waging his finger? I'm ready to push the buttons. Why has he got to be in a hurry? Rude, because he's fast, and he had that 90s appeal. Is Emma Stone the best producer now for producing? I saw the TV Glow, A Real Pain, and The Curse. I think she's a cool producer. I like that she's using her Hollywood clout to make cool stuff. Like, there's not a lot of Hollywood people who are famous for doing cool stuff like that. So, supposedly she got Kieran Culkin to not leave the movie. That's what I keep hearing. Cornbread. Or Zane, whatever. All right, I think we're done here. Thank you all for being here tonight. We sort of did a thing. I want to thank everyone who gave a super chat tonight, including Bloxy Uncle Austin, William Ellman, Bloxy, Zane Powers, Nathaniel Foga, William Ellman, Zane Powers, William Ellman, Modelo Butterfly, William Ellman, and Austin. Thank you very much for your contributions. It's really cool of you. I should have something out tomorrow, maybe 2 things, we'll see. But I should have some cool stuff. I might have some cool Super Bowl stuff also. You shall see. And the Nosferatu 2024 video is coming soon. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you for liking this video and all that stuff. And I hope you all have a good week. See some cool movies. And I will see you all next time. All right, peace. Subscribe if you would like to, and I will see you all next time. All right, cool. Bye.